something that you've learned watching, working close, that would be a good takeaway for somebody who's getting on the set like you did, kind of for the first time? Now, with like the whole kind of like the project overall experience, is there something that you took away from it? You know,
I guess I would say there's something to be learned from every single person. Don't like if
yeah,
just like just because you're
it's a big
into
collaboration. It's a big
yeah
team effort.
yeah
Yeah,
and there's so many people that have so much more experience than you are gonna have going into your first thing, where even if it's like if there's someone that's like doing grip and you have no interest in grip, that doesn't matter. Talk to those people, like they have been on multiple sets. Like
sets.
they see
They
things, they
know
hear things,
things.
they
Yeah.
know things. Yeah, they know people, they know dynamics, they know like what's supposed to be, what's not supposed to be. So it's also interesting to kind of figure out what is to be expected, because this is your first one. You're not thinking like, oh, like you're not going into it expecting any one set thing, and then once things kind of go, you think, okay, this is like how it's going to be on everything. But it's not always going to be like that, and you don't know that because it's your first one. So it's good to talk to people who have been on multiple sets, who know the way things like typically go or should go or whatever, and then get a better understanding for in the future, if you want to keep working on sets,
Mm-hmm.
that kind of thing. So it's just good to always be asking questions, always learning, always open to conversations and listening and different things like that.
Nice, nice. Is there any department or anything that you were was particularly exciting or interesting to you that you didn't previously had like a lot of experience with, or any like you didn't even know about, or
Well, I knew that obviously, like the mechanics, like lighting and stuff was very important, but I didn't realize just how much stuff they were doing, like constantly, literally always moving, like always doing something, always plugging things, always taping it, like moving, like whatever. So there, I definitely have a much higher appreciation for
yeah,
that
huge shout out
aspect.
for our G&E
Yeah.
crew.
That's takes a lot of work that people don't even realize. And um I also learned a lot more roles like within the camera department as well.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't know that there's a specific person that's pulling focus, or there's a specific person that I didn't know that Pascal would have like 3 people or 2 people like working under him and doing different things, helping him out as well.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah.
So it's just like a whole lot of layers. Like you think when you have like a basic understanding of like what a film crew would be, you think of like the heads
Mm-hmm.
normally, but you don't realize that there's so many people working under them.
When you first got on the set, were you aware of the AD team, like first AD, second AD, second,
I
or
was
third? So by the way, there's always this second, and third AD, basically the same thing, but in Europe and
yeah,
Canada, it's third AD. In US, they decided for some reason that
second,
second
which
second
I think
sounds
is
better.
hilarious. It's funny, it's like the second. I don't know. It's just silly. Um, but yeah, I didn't know that a second existed. I knew about a first AD, and I knew like roughly about a second AD, but I didn't necessarily know the specific roles that went into being like like I just figured, a second AD is just like another assistant kind of
Mm-hmm.
thing, but they have their own like delegations.
Mm-hmm.
And being an AD, like I thought you just help out the director. Sometimes I didn't know that there's like specific things that you are very much in
Yeah, a
charge
lot
of.
of people think that as first assistant director is like an assistant to the director, which
Yeah.
is not
It's
it at all.
misleading. It's
Yeah.
misleading.
So watching that dynamic between me and Raja as a first AD and a director, you
Mm-hmm.
want to be a director.
Yeah.
Did that kind of give you an idea how, like, you're seeing yourself maybe working with an AD and with and then DP also, like you see Raja working with the DP and
Mm-hmm.
production design and everything. Did it kind of like did as wanting to go into directing, did that kind of open your eyes to like, oh, there's this department head that is going to do this with me, and then this department head that is going to do this with me, and then like when we're moving on to the next set, my AD is going to bring the actors, the DP, the director, and me, and like put us together and walk us through the scene of what's happening, and then I'm going to creatively look at it and like, was there Was there something that you took away from it as like do you have some ideas how will that affect your working with the team?
It just kind of it made me like psyched because it's basically like really like it made me want to be a director more because I'm like, okay, directing is literally the part of film that I have interest in. All of the other stuff is being put onto these other heads that like I have like obviously I have interest in it, but it's like that is not what I want to be focused on. So knowing that there's going to be people that have my back and that as long as I gel with them and I'm, you know, close with them to a certain extent, like everything's going like we're all going to make it happen together, but having that team is like incredibly important because you know, like you said, like you know how to make Raja's like kind of vision, you know, come to fruition, and Pascal knows like his expertise knows how to make Raja's expertise and
Mm-hmm.
mix with your expertise like into the final
Mm-hmm.
product, which is what I love because it's all a collaboration. And I like, you know, I don't know the first thing about different lenses, you know, like I try to know things, you know, on a basic level, but I know that like one day, or even now I know people, but like one day when I'm working with someone, like there is going to be someone that has that extensive knowledge that's going to know what to work with me and what I know to make the final product come out how we all want it. So it just kind of it made me really happy to see that like in reality, and see that like every person's contribution is exactly what's needed.